TIFU by not reading a prescription label and overdosing myself. Update. I want to thank everyone for making me realize just how dangerous this situation is. I didn't really take it seriously because I honestly thought that it was just a matter of stopping for a few days and resuming my new dose. My therapist has always told me that I could stop cold turkey specifically with this medication at any moment, so I honestly wasn't concerned. I'll be calling poison control for sure. I messed up so bad. Alright, so I've been on Wellbutrin 150 mg XL antidepressant for over a year, and at some point over the last 2 months, I started realizing that I was feeling much more depressed. So at my next therapy appointment, I brought it up to my therapist and he doubled my dose. Since I had only 150 mg XL tablets on hand, he asked me to take 2 instead of 1 and called in my new prescription. I intentionally schedule my therapy appointments on the day that I'm due to take my last dose. That morning, I took my last dose. I went to go pick up my new prescription and started taking 2 tablets a day. Because I've been taking this medication for over a year and I'm very familiar with the pharmacists. The pharmacist that assisted me didn't go over the instructions with me. A few hours later, I started getting extremely nauseous, lethargic, couldn't sleep, appetite disappeared completely. I didn't think anything of it because I had the same side effects when I first started taking this medication. So about 3 weeks have passed and my side effects are still going strong with no improvement. I've dropped 10 pounds. And the only time I can tolerate eating anything is when I take an edible and get the munchies. I can't even drink water. Today, as I was cleaning up my nightstand, I grabbed my pill bottle and noticed, feels heavier than it usually does by now. So I looked at the label and my stomach dropped. 300 mg tablets that were twice the size of my previous dose. I've been taking 600 mg for the past few weeks and making myself sick. I've been in a pretty bad place mentally, so I didn't even question the symptoms, nor did it ever cross my mind to check the label. So I stopped taking my antidepressants for 2 days and my symptoms have disappeared entirely. I'm kinda scared to start taking them again. My therapist doubled the dosage on my antidepressants and sent in my new script to the pharmacy, after telling me to take 2 tablets if I had any tablets left. The new prescription was 300 mg per tablet versus 150 mg per tablet. I've been taking 600 mg every day because it never occurred to me to read the prescription label and have been making myself sick for weeks. It is very rarely advised to go off prescription meds cold turkey. Start taking your prescription as directed and I'm sure you will be fine. You learned an important lesson. Always read the label. This time it was your error. But pharmacists can make mistakes too. I'd call the doctor and tell them about the mix-up. The maximum daily dosage is 400–450ths of a milligram depending on the type of release. They might want to do some tests to make sure you didn't cause any damage to your body. You're not gonna be in trouble. Please do not go cold turkey on antidepressants. You're not going to have a good time. You may want to seek medical attention, especially if you're taking other drugs like an SSRI. Messing around with neurotransmitters like that is no joke. The pharmacist would probably be able to tell you if you need to be seen. Or a nurse hotline perhaps, if you have access to one. Good luck. Not that it's any consolation, but I once had nose surgery and was prescribed Vicodin. I was in pain and restless, so I slept on the couch that night so my wife could sleep soundly in the bed. When she woke up, she found that I had taken the whole bottle of Vicodin. That's when I learned I sleepwalk and pop pills while doing it. If I can survive that, anything is possible. Good luck. PSA. If you make a medication error, you can call poison control and they'll walk you through what to do. I know this because my steroid and Lexapro were the same pill size and color and were in the same color bottle, and I took like 6 Lexapro in one day. Dude, you cannot stop your meds. You could have a seizure, especially since you've been taking 600 milligrams for weeks. I would at least still take the one pill of 300 milligrams and call your doctor ASAP. That's a really high dose to just stop taking. Please take a regular or half dose right now if you haven't already. Doubling your dose, then doubling again, then going cold turkey might really throw you for a loop. Take your correct prescribed dose for now. Call your doctor, therapist, and let them know what has happened. They know people make mistakes, so don't worry about that. But changing doses with antidepressants needs to be done carefully. Changing too quickly, both increasing and reducing dose, can be problematic. Your doc will best be able to make a dosage schedule for you to recoup from the high doses and bring you back to normal in the safest way. It's also incredibly important you let them know that you had a reaction to the meds for their future consideration and treatments. Familiar with you or not, someone at the damn pharmacy should have told you you were being given a different dose. That's pure sloppiness on their part. We're all busy. I'm a tech, but a simple. These are the 300 milligrams tabs. You're aware the doctor increased your dose? Would have been sufficient to avoid this error. Please talk to your doctor and/or the pharmacist about this. I hope you're feeling all right. Other comments explain better than I could. But as a tip, if you ever accidentally overdose, immediately call poison control. I once overdosed on a tamoxifen by taking 200 milligrams. And 100 milligrams is already pretty high. Wasn't a fun trip. OMG, this exact same thing happened to me. For 2 weeks I was accidentally taking 600 milligrams instead of 300 and I felt awful. I'm not generally anxious, but I felt like I had all this anxiety I just couldn't move through my body. I ended up realizing and taking the correct dose and everything was fine. Don't recommend stopping cold turkey though. The reversed happened to me but with Lamictal. Dropped mg by double overnight on accident by trying to use up previous bottles. I have never felt so horrible in my life. The feeling of hopelessness was absurd. I felt so stupid when I went to my doc and we figured it out. Can't even do simple math. Just an FYI, Wellbutrin is not like your typical antidepressant. It has a much shorter half-life and doesn't stay in your system as long. Going off of it for a few days isn't going to cause near as many symptoms as the high doses you were taking. Everybody is different. I've been taking Wellbutrin for years now. It works best for me at 400 milligrams. But the side effects are too much. At 300 milligrams I do great, but if I take it 3 days in the row, I'm too shaky and can't sleep. But not taking it is just not an option. I finally talked to my prescriber and now I know I can take it 2 days and be off 2 days or go every other day. While some people might have the side effects of stopping cold turkey, it's not going to be the case for everyone and not near as likely as in a medication like Effexor that works on both the serotonin and norepinephrine pathways. I doubt too that you are at any long-term risk for seizures because of this mistake. Once the med is out of your system and you get back on your routine, you should be good. I hope you feel better soon. I screwed up like that once. It was with Wellbutrin, too. I had 2 bottles of it, one of which was very old, since I was waiting for the next drug take-back in our area, and accidentally took a pill from the wrong bottle. It turns out that it was months after the expiration date. A few hours later I was shaking, nauseous, disoriented, Called the nurse on call for my doctor, who eventually sent me to the ER. And so I had to have a friend rush me there. I was in college and didn't have the money to pay for an ambulance. The intake nurse I talked to listened to my story and, without looking up, told me, "You're alright. This form of Wellbutrin isn't dangerous until a year after expiration." Wait, so I just panicked and got rushed to the hospital for the stomach flu? Quote, "Yep. I was so embarrassed for being an idiot. I intentionally schedule my therapy appointments on the day that I'm due to take my last dose." Quote, "I keep seeing things like this so often. Why do people taking drugs for mental illness risk potentially running out of their medication by waiting until the last minute rather than getting the script renewed a week beforehand? It's not like it sneaks up on you. I did the same once when I was on 300 milligrams Wellbutrin. There like a 0.4% chance you can have a seizure. When I took 2 by accident, I called poison control and they had me go to the for overnight observation. It's not the bupropion that gives you the seizures, but rather the byproduct as it's processed by your body. So the seizure danger zone is like 10 hours after you've taken the dose. So that's why I had to do an overnight stay even though I took it in the morning. Super annoying. I'd agree with the advice in the thread that going cold turkey is the more dangerous part here. Wouldn't the bottle have been lighter because you took too many? Not a doctor at all, but have a lot of personal experience with this medication. Do not go off of this particular drug cold turkey. There's a risk of seizures with immediate stoppage of this med, and it's even a small risk when weaning off of higher dosages. Speak to your doctor about it and they can advise about how to safely lower yourself down to a safe and helpful dosage. Best of luck. This sounds like it has been just awful to go through. This is second post I've seen this weekend of someone not reading the label of their meds after getting them. I've been on a variety of medications for over 20 years, and I still check the label as soon as I pick them up. There's been a handful of times where I received the wrong medication. Please be more careful in the future.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.